38 days of kickoff. News and notes and updates of the National Rink League, player acquisitions, and a new playoff format. More next. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Inside the Walls podcast. I am Jim Renier. Hopefully everyone out there is staying warm. Crazy weather we're having here throughout the country. I've seen videos from Colorado up to New England, up to North Carolina, ice, heavy snow. Hopefully everyone out there is staying warm and being safe and responsible because we're 38 days away from the kickoff of the 2026 season in Louisiana, where the Rougarou take on the Warbirds, followed by the Punishers and the Spartans out there in Colorado. I wanted to get this episode in because we've had a couple of weeks with no show and we've been gone. Hopefully everyone's had a great holiday season. I know everyone's focused on the outdoor game. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers of winning the college football national title. And congratulations to the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks of going to the Super Bowl. That game, as you know, is next week, so I guarantee everyone's excited about that. All eyes are tuned on to the game. And then right when that game's complete, we got next. Will be the next league to kick off on March 7th. March 7th in Louisiana, as again, with the Rougarou and the Warbirds, followed by the Spartans and the Punishers. But we wanted to get an episode here. We'll talk about some of the free agent acquisitions that are going on throughout the league. We'll mention some unique postseason format that will be announced today, so you fans know exactly what it means to get in the regular season and what teams advance and how many do advance into the 2026 postseason. But I want to get some news and notes out of the way. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, season tickets are available right now. Visit thenationalreenleague.com. Click on your respective teams. Click on their links and get season tickets, single game tickets, club seats, group tickets, and much, much more. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Get your special someone some tickets to an indoor football game. Nothing says love like football and the one you love at a football game. Come on. Make NAL football, NAL or National Arena League, take you and your loved ones to an NAL game for Valentine's Day. That might not go well, but it's a try, right? Plus, if she likes football, that's a win-win. Am I right, gents? But anyways, let's get on to more of the news and notes throughout the National Arena League. Remember, South New Hampshire University is a sponsor of the National Arena League. Get up-to-date information if you want to excel your education. SNHU.com for more information. SNHU.com to get more information on higher learning. Also, NALshop.com. Go over there right now, popping off with some gear, and it's crazy what's coming down the pipe. I'm excited. Can't wait for it to be out so you, the fans, can enjoy it. NALshop.com, from hats to T-shirts to cups to Columbia wear. Some good content out, good products, content. See, I'm the content creator, so used to doing it. But remember, NALshop.com for more. Again, every team's available. All 9 teams in the National Arena League are available for that. But also, one thing about this show, and I know I've been gone for a couple of weeks, is because behind the scenes we've been working on things and trying to see the next stage of what Inside the Walls bring. One thing that we've noticed behind the scenes and looking at the analytics, looking at the numbers, and looking at what this show brought, we noticed that NAL Game Day, when we did last year, the kickoff this season, was very highly successful based on the numbers and the readings that we've had from multiple locations throughout the league. It was a very tuned-in game. And I'm very appreciative that that game was very successful on that matter. So we kind of changed little things here for the 2026 season to implement just not the singular team. As you know, throughout the years, Inside the Walls podcast has its own game of the week. We created the game of the week, and that's the team's focus, or that's our focus. That was me, Matt, and Jeff's focus each and every week was that game. The first couple of weeks have been decided of what games of the weeks are. But as the season progresses, it's you, the fans, who will have a big input in what game of the week it is. And what's the game of the week going to be? It's going to be both sides. You'll get interviews from players and coaches from both sides, not just the home team. You'll get in-depth coverage, in-depth highlights, in-depth behind the scenes of what these teams are. Our focus this year, especially in Inside the Walls and NAL, is giving fans more access to on-the-field product. That's why Inside the Walls will separate one big episode to two different episodes. On Tuesday, we will have a recap episode that recaps every single National Arena League game. It will have highlights. It will have interviews. It will have in-depth coverage from stats, highlights, top plays, in-depth interviews, and much, much more. That will be on the Tuesday's episode, all dedicated to the previous week's action. Then the following Friday, which most of our games in 2026 kick off on Friday or Saturday. So on Friday, we will have Inside the Walls kickoff. Inside the Walls kickoff will be the preview of the upcoming week. That episode will have interviews of the both game of the week's participants, the home teams and away teams. We'll break down the game, show some highlights, some key matchups, key position battles, and much, much more. Also, in that episode, we'll break down the upcoming week's action. And when I say about fan interaction and more fan input, you, the fans, will be very key on who you want to be on the show. You tell us, it's like, hey, I want Stephen Newbold Jr. We'll get Stephen Newbold Jr. And he's always like, hey, we want Paxton Lynch. We'll get Paxton Lynch. We want Coach Shaw. Like, we'll get players and coaches by you, the fans. We'll put the poll question up the week before. Say, this is the game of the week for week 6, week 7, week 8. Who do you want to get on the show? Pick players and coaches. And we'll get those guys on the show for you, the fans. That's for NAL kickoff, and especially the NAL episode. It's going to be the traditional way, but not like old school Inside the Walls, where it was me, Matt, and Jeff discussing topics, laughing, integrating with coaches and players in the chat. That no longer happens. That will no longer happen. This episode will be dedicated to the product. You will hear myself or you'll hear someone else break down the games that happened that previous week, and you'll see vivid highlights of the action on the screen. Every highlight, every touchdown, every big play will be recapped on Inside the Walls on Tuesday nights, including the top 10 plays of the week that will be decided by you, the fans. You send what play you like. I like this play. This should be here. And we'll put a poll question, and you vote it in. And on Tuesday, you'll get the fan top 10 plays of the week. You, the fans, will be the ones who will continue the success of the 2026 season as we exclusively here on Inside the Walls throughout the weeks during this season. Next week's episode is the big episode. We'll have members of the front office on the episode. We'll have some coaches, probably some ownership members throughout the league on the show to talk about what we've done this offseason and what we'll push forward for the 2026 season and beyond. That is the official kickoff show of the 2026 season. That's next Wednesday at 8 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Action-packed February is coming up of Inside the Walls. And, man, I'm so excited because when the season kicks off, we got highlights. We're going to have impact moments. We're going to have big hits. We're going to have results. And we're going to have players, coaches, and more coverage of National Arena League action that myself, I'm really looking forward to. There's things I want to talk about right now, but I can't really touch because I'm excited what's going on down the path and the stuff that we've been working behind the scenes. It's crazy. And I can't wait to, get that out there so you, the fans, can interact with us much, much more. And we, enjoy and embrace the sport that we love, that is arena and indoor football. But before we get going, let's a little step back for our sponsors, and then we get into the conversation of free agent acquisitions and, a new playoff format. Is it new? We'll find out. We'll be back after this short break here on Inside the Walls podcast.
my degree online at Southern New Hampshire University.
After I graduated, I started a new job.
I was finally able to realize my purpose and passion in life.
Pursuing my degree gave me so many opportunities to grow. Don't just think about yourself. Think about the lives that you can really change.
SNHU laid the groundwork.
I am doing what I've always wanted to do.
If I was back at the beginning, I would choose SNHU all over again.
Shudak puts his right foot into it. The ball is going to come up short of the goalpost into the hands of Newbold. He takes it out of the end zone, dances his way to the 5-yard line, and he is brought down quickly on a nice...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Inside the Walls. Hopefully again, it's cold. Like, I'm down here in South, and we're dealing with, mid-20s, and I know people up north like, oh, Jim, it's we're dealing with negative 20. Yeah, I know. It's cold down here for us. It's cold when lizards start falling from the trees. I know. People's like, oh, that's typical Florida. But anyways, speaking about Florida, free agent acquisitions. What a good segue to that. The free agent acquisitions and the big additions that are happening in the National Arena. Let's put that graphic up. This week's transaction. A familiar quarterback returns to Sioux City as I could call him the ageless wonder. The guy plays almost every single year. He has won championships everywhere he's played, from the Indoor Football League into the NAL and to the CIF with the Bandits as well. And you got to look. Quarterback Lorenzo Brown returns also. Some free agent acquisitions that are going around the NAL in Salina. You got Donovan Newman, Rico Moore, Dominic Carter, Louisiana Rubaru signed linebacker Brian Torres, and the Pueblo Punishers signed Gashon Moody, linebacker for the Punishers as well. So you got some free agent acquisitions that happened this week in the National Arena League, but the big one is Lorenzo Brown. This guy is a former MVP. This guy has won multiple championships in Sioux City and Sioux Falls. This guy has been everywhere, and wherever he's been, he has won. He played, of course, as you know, last year he played in Omaha for the Bandits. This guy is a journeyman. He is a legend. Some people consider him probably the GOAT of indoor football because of how long he's played. But there are a lot of talented quarterbacks throughout the National Arena League, the IFL, and many indoor leagues that they're quarterbacks that hold the equal bar as him. But it's cool that the Sioux City Bandits get the addition of Lorenzo Brown back into the National Arena League. So that's the transitions for the this week in the National Arena League. We'll give you updated transactions on each episode, what's going on throughout the National Arena League as we lead up to the 2026 season. And during the season, when we know some additions, we'll announce that on the show and also on our podcast platforms. Remember, follow us on the podcast platforms, Inside the Walls, while all of our content is available on National Arena League. Like, you can go to the podcast page, and you can also go here in the National Arena League so you can get the content as you want. So with that, we want to announce today, well, this was announced a couple days ago. Matter of fact, let's let Brandon, the commissioner of the National Arena League, say it. This is Commissioner Hackard.
Greetings, fans. This is Brandon Eichert, the Commissioner of the National Arena League, and I'm excited today to be joined by Don Palmer, the Chairman of the U.S. Elections Commissions. We're teaming up to recognize and support the U.S. citizens who have stepped up each year to serve the nation, as well as election poll workers. Now, Don, why don't you tell our fans a little more about this?
Sure. Thanks, Brandon. The Election Assistance Commission is a bipartisan federal agency that works with state and local officials across the country to facilitate the right to vote for all Americans. This year, we're teaming up with NAL to recognize the valuable service that close to 1 million of our fellow citizens serve each year.
Don, as you know, we have a range of great teams across the United States in the National Arena League. To hear that close to 1 million U.S. citizens step up each year and serve our country as poll workers sounds like great teamwork for democracy across America.
That's right, Brandon. Close to 1 million of our fellow U.S. citizens make the choice to serve their neighbors and help America vote. To help recruit poll workers in each NAL city and across the country, the EAC has designated January 27th as Help America Vote Day. HelpAmericaVote.gov is the website that provides information on how you can connect with your county local election office in your city to learn about serving the future as a poll worker.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, visit helpamericavote.gov for more information to get involved with the community to help the community get out and vote. That's our American right. That's our American way. Get out and get the vote out. Help the community as you can. Go helpamericavote.gov. With that, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that, as a fan, as a person who covers this league, and as a person who loves football itself, we, in the National Football League and the college football, we look at the season and go, what are usually the main topics? Who are the contenders? Who are the pretenders? Who are the teams that can make a run? Who are the playoff contenders? Who are the Super Bowl champions? 90% of the time when you hear people talk about football, especially the outdoor game, it's always, is this a playoff team? Is this team going to win a championship? It's always postseason. Everyone's talking about the playoffs. The NFL talks about the postseason and the preseason. The college football, they're already talking about the 12-team playoff 6 weeks before the season even begins. Matter of fact, that's one of the top topics in college football on a daily basis is the playoff format. So the playoff format in the National Arena League has been historically 4 teams. It was 4 teams last year. It was 4 teams a couple years ago. And it was 2 teams, unfortunately, 2 years ago because of the how the league operated. We had to get the season, but we got the 2 teams in. But one of the things that we can really look forward to in the 2026 season is a postseason of epicness. So, ladies and gentlemen, the format of the 2026 National Arena League postseason. 6 teams. A 6-team playoff will be this year's format. And for the people who are listening, 6 at 3, 5 at 4 will be the first round, will be played between June 5th and June 7th. The semifinals will be the number 1 and the number 2 seeds with a bye. That will be played on the 12th and the 14th, where the lowest remaining seed from the first round will go to the 1 seed, and the highest remaining seed will go to the 2 seed. For example, for the ones who are listening, go, do a quick synopsis. Well, if you're looking at this bracket, ladies and gentlemen, 6, 5, and 4 can travel to 1, while only 5 and 4 can travel to 2. And then the winner of that, ladies and gentlemen, will advance to the NAL Championship game that will be played on the weekend of June 20th. That will be hosted at the highest seed in the tournament, hosting home field advantage throughout the postseason in this year's format. But again, as you know, postseason is unique. Can a 6 go all the way and win the title? Can a 2 shock the world? Or is it the same? Oh, the 1 seed was the best seed in the best team in the league, and they become the team that wins it all. Well, we'll find that out. The postseason begins June 5th. On the weekend of June 5th, it ends in the weekend of June 20th. 6 teams get into the season, postseason, 1 champion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the format of this year's National Arena League season. Now that you know the playoff bracket, who do you think are the top 6 teams who will enter the 2026 postseason? Who do you think is going to get the 1? Who's going to be that juggernaut? Or is there going to be a Cinderella that gets in one of the lower seeds and battles away from the first round to the championship game? The 2026 postseason bracket, 6 teams, 1 champion. That kicks off the weekend of June 5th. Now that you know the postseason, you know the format of the new show, you know what's going on with free agency, including with the addition of Lorenzo Brown and Sioux City, so you know actions everywhere. And we want to get this show out because we have an epic show next week, and we got content galore coming out of the yin-yang over the next couple of weeks. We want you, the fans, to be in tune. We want you to be engraved. We want you to know what's going on behind the scenes, and we want you to interact with us as well. But before I leave, remember, visit nalshop.com for more content, to hats, to accessories, and much, much more. nalshop.com. Also, if you want to go and pursue a higher level of education, snhu.edu, snhu.edu. And also, if you want to be a part of your community during election season, get involved with helpamericavote.gov. helpamericavote.com.gov to be associated with your local community to get out the vote, as 2026 is election season. So go out and be part of the community and exercise your American right. Visit helpamericavote.gov. For us here in the National Arena League and for myself here in Inside the Walls, we want to welcome you to the 2026 season. We'll be back next week for the big kickoff show of the 2026 season. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms at nalfootball.com. Also visit us on the internet at thenationalarenaleague.com for more information. Remember, tickets are on sale now. Visit all 9 organizations for ticket information for you, for your loved one. Valentine's Day is just around the corner too, gents. It's a great present. Just saying. Visit thenationalarenaleague.com for more information for tickets for your favorite NAL team. I'm Jim Renier. This is Inside the Walls. We'll be back for a big episode next Wednesday at 8 p.m. here in the National Arena League as we get 1 week closer to the kickoff of the 2026 season. Be well. Stay warm. We'll see you guys next week.